W doesn't end well unless it ends. Can't just report the fucking obvious. Just a motherfucking jump. Just go. And we are going. Or we're already here. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy, and the other fucking guy in the room at the controls is Leo. Leo, good morning to you. It's Monday, brand new week, man. How about that? Yeah.
Gotta love a new week, man. Gotta love it, especially when it's like nice and little, the weather outside right now. I know you don't love it, but it is beautiful.
No, it is beautiful. I don't have to have it like over 100 degrees. All right. And yeah, we were getting a little rain because of a hurricane in the Pacific, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
coming up from Mexico, I should say.
Yeah, but on the Pacific Ocean side, I believe. Yeah.
Correct. Yes.
So that's, a little rain, but things are blooming. My bushes look beautiful.
Everything looks beautiful. I do have to do a little bit more yard work outside because of it, but other than that,
yeah,
it's beautiful. I love it.
It is beautiful. This is just a beautiful place to be.
I agree.
I think about that all the time and how blessed I am and I'm so happy. You know, it's 3 years now that I've been here and it's gone by so fast. 3 years. And then, last week, it's been a week now since my divorce case.
Okay.
And every day just feels better and better, man. I literally feel the blessings of God. I know that's crazy, but I really do feel the blessings of God. Like the last little shackles are off,
mm-hmm.
The
last little bit of freedom was given.
Yes. The freedom to just go full force into everything, things just falling into place. We've had some other business struggles over the last year, even though business has been nothing but phenomenal. We had difficulties, and much of the market still is when it comes to pharmaceuticals, that the raw ingredients for pharmaceuticals in some cases can be in short supply. Most raw ingredients come from either China or India. So that's can be an issue, and especially with all the tariffs and stuff going on. And, there's always questions, people asking, because they know things have been in short supply. But we've pretty much overcome that to a pretty good degree where we can expand more. It's kind of limited expanding from the fact that we could take care of the people that we had, but taking on new people was getting a little more difficult. I mean, we still did take new clients, but just we could take them on even greater, in greater numbers, because I could expand the number of consultants that I also work with and them bringing in. And that was the main thing. It's not the clients. The clients are out there. Mm-hmm. The clients are out there and they're paying ridiculous money that they finally realize for, simple things like TRT treatment, or they're finding out their clinics taking advantage of them and they're taking, maybe a anti-estrogen and they don't really need to be taking that, but it's padding the bill because that's what they tend to do. And then I explain things in real world language and they're like, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. It does make sense, and you don't need to do that. You don't, let's look at the lab work and look at you don't have any symptoms. So you don't have any symptoms. Your lab work is good, but he told you to take this anyways. How does that work? How does that work? It's not a good thing. So, and then other people out there, people try to do it on their own. I get it. And then they don't know how to do it right. They, work with companies. I just had a client. You know what I value more than anything else, is loyalty, right? So if you're going to not be loyal to me, be smart enough to lie about it. Seriously.
Fair enough. I mean, fair enough,
No,
yeah.
lie about it. Because so I had a client that, I thought we were on great terms. I answer his questions. We've taken care of him. And then I find out he's asking me about retatrutide and what I think of it, because he bought retatrutide somewhere from some other, place online or whatever.
Okay.
And he didn't feel like it worked, or he didn't get benefit from it. And apparently it was on the cheaper side. And so maybe it just wasn't good product, right?
Gotcha.
And he's telling me that. And my response was loyalty, shake my head, SMH. Like, that's what you get, dude, for going elsewhere. We're not always the cheapest. We're usually not the most expensive either.
Mm-hmm.
But you're getting something that you don't get with those other companies like that. You got a vial. There's no questions that you can ask them. You have to do all your own research. And as I've pointed out, there's a lot of good, there's a lot of bad stuff out there. People got to know who to trust. Where I've done this for hundreds and hundreds of people now. And it does work. It is good. He got something else. But yeah, like I've told clients that do stuff like that before, I've said, you know what? If that's what you're doing, you just need to go elsewhere. So, you mean, Troy, you don't want just a little bit of their business? No, because that's not there are people out there like that. Even some of my consultants may do that. But me personally, I don't want to waste my time. I like making lifestyle changes or helping people with the lifestyle change. I like being involved. I like asking the questions. I like providing that part of it, which is the help that people need to do these things right. And, not somebody isn't forced to take that. You do have people that do know what they're doing from time to time. I get that, and I'll do that. But, when people just want to cheap out and nickel and dime, it's like you're getting all your information from me. And if you're occasionally going out, and I don't charge for that, because that just pushes me more towards, well, you know what? I'm not going to do that anymore, and I'm going to start charging for it. Because I know that what my advice is worth, what the value is.
Yeah.
But I also like to be fair. I want to help as many people as I can. I don't want to, limit that. And that, I could possibly limit that by, increasing the cost to do business with me by charging for the consultation. But I'd rather not do that. I'd rather people just be smart and be loyal. I mean, if I don't have something, that's one thing. But if I got it, do your business in one place.
That's fair.
Yeah, that's it. I just think that's a smart thing to do. But I will do that from time to time. So we had a pretty good weekend. Friday we did the show. Friday night, early Friday, the game was at 5:00 here in Phoenix time.
5:00?
Yeah, you got. I can't hear your microphone.
I apologize. I was like, yeah, that is fairly early for a basketball game.
And especially we're playing Las Vegas. It's 5:00 in Vegas, so it's early for Vegas. But if you want to show the WNBA finals, that's 8:00 on the East Coast.
Gotcha.
So you want the biggest audience possible. That's when those games are going to be played, no matter where you're at. So, yeah, Mercury got swept. And A'ja Wilson is all that. And as much as I have to say this now about Alyssa Thomas. She is a great player. She definitely deserved to be in the conversation for MVP. And I thought she was very deserving of the MVP. But in the finals, A'ja Wilson stepped up a little bit more and definitely deserving of the MVP. She showed why she's the league MVP in the games. I mean, she just dominated. I will say this, though, very interesting. One of my complaints this year about the coach, Nate Tibbetts,
okay,
was that for much of the year, a little over half of the year, we were playing the whole team. The whole bench got to play in the game.
Like
every player got to play. Rotating players. And I thought we had a super deep bench, and it was very, very good. Mm-hmm. And very impressed. But I know, because I haven't coached at higher levels, but you're going to play your best players when it comes down to the most important times, right? But there's a couple things like Kalani Brown, who I'm a big fan. I'm probably the biggest Kalani Brown fan, period. And she's our biggest player on the court. I would love to train her, dude, seriously. And I would do it for free because I would have her. She would be a beast next year. She's a good player. She's a smart player. I'd probably shave about 20, 30 pounds off and work on some cardio and a little bit of strength. The whole team needs to do strength training. It's brutal, dude. If you see the game, just watch Friday's game. It was a fight out there, body-wise. You have to do, just like Michael Jordan did. If you look at Michael Jordan early in his career and after getting beat up and how he went to the gym and put on some muscle, it made all the difference in his career. So definitely something women need to be thinking about, that I don't think enough of that kind of training is done in the WNBA yet. Gotcha. I mean, you have a couple players here and there that you can tell do it, but they're doing it on their own, more or less. That
isn't
they
like
feel
a priority.
It's not a priority for the league or the team to help their players do that, and it should be. It's not going to take your shot away. You're not going to be, less agile or. There used to be such crazy talk about when we were growing up in sports and that having too muscle. I remember hearing it. Oh, you'll get muscle bound. You won't be able to touch the back of your head. And oh my God, the shit I heard as a kid about that stuff. And I didn't know any different. Mm-hmm. We didn't know. That's what we just heard, that kind of stuff would happen. And then, older, smarter, realized those things don't happen. And people like Tiger Woods came along. And here you have golf. You do not need muscles for golf, period. Some of the best golfers have been chubby, overweight drinkers who smoked. Okay, so you don't need that. But fitness wasn't a bad thing. It didn't hurt you. And it certainly didn't hurt Tiger Woods, who became the second greatest golfer in the world.
I mean, even because you're referring to John Daly, I assumed, right?
Of them, one of many.
Yeah, I mean, even him. I remember watching a documentary recently where he actually decided to, better his health. Like, obviously, he continued to drink and smoke, but I think that's like one of his turning points. Like after because there was like a tournament where he like got kicked or banned or kicked out for something or whatever. So then he was out for a few months, but then he started going to the gym and bettering his health, and then it's in every aspect.
But that's late in his career.
A little later, but it still helped. Yeah, he's he's naturally gifted, but
I love the dude. Yeah. He's all American.
You see his son's actually doing pretty well.
Yes, he does.
It's interesting. Anyway, sorry.
No, that's totally good. I'm glad you threw that in there. And actually, a number of great golfers have their kids who end up playing and being very competitive really too, really good too. It's just a great sport at any age. But yeah, it doesn't hurt you to be in shape. It's not going to make it worse. But really, for these girls, I'd love to train Kalani Brown, but she actually got into the game. He hardly played her at all during the playoffs. Wasn't playing her down the stretch, but we needed somebody, as you heard, if you go back to whenever we played, say, the Atlanta Dream, and find that episode, I'm sure the day after that game, I was bitching about that, how we didn't put her in the game because they had Jones and Griner, two very big players, and we had nobody to go up against them, right? Look, Asia Wilson did what she does against Brown, but there were times that when Brown was put in, that she did stop Asia Wilson where nobody else on our team did. because she was too big to be pushed around. Sometimes Brown was able to help deny her the ball or get her shot slightly off. And then sometimes A'ja Wilson just made it anyways because she's that great of a player. But it did make a difference having Brown in. And maybe it would have been a difference if the 4 games, we got swept in 4 games. Maybe if she had been used earlier, might have helped in the game. You wait till game 4 when your back's against the wall and you finally put her in. And she got rebounds that she put in. She did really good. Everybody was excited for her. We were all cheering, yelling for her. And for the time that she was in, and you look at her stats, for the little bit of time that she got, she did good for that period of time.
Oh, yeah.
Honestly,
she
really.
Played 10 minutes less than McKinney and scored the same amount and got one less rebound. So,
yeah, I mean, 18 minutes. 18 that's not a lot of time. That's less than half the game. Even Lexi Held got into the game because Mo was a little off. It was bad passes, dude. It was air balls. It was the same stuff, just not thinking. Bad passes from even some of our best players who really stepped up. Really, this game was Copper. Copper played fantastic. She really stepped up. I expected to see Natasha Mack a little bit more. That didn't happen. It was tough to lose. It was tough to lose. But Vegas dominated pretty much and dominated in the series. And then we just think you just had them pushed to the brink by an Indiana team that was without their number 1 and number 4 best players. And Indiana not only took them to game 5, and 1-2 against them, they also took them to overtime in game 5. So we almost were playing Indiana. And maybe we just don't match up as well against Vegas as Indiana does. But that's because of the bigger players. And again, Bonner, she did her thing, but Bonner can't stop somebody who is.
They have more experience in the playoffs,
more weight
too, right?
Too.
Like the Mercury haven't really experienced the.
Copper was a few years ago. She was MVP in the finals. So, but obviously, A'ja was the finals MVP as well as being the regular season MVP, and she deserved it. But look, it's a great season that they made it to the finals. I think if we keep most of the team together, we'll be competitive next year. The craziest thing, though, they threw the coach out.
What?
Tibbetts got thrown out of the game, arguing a call. And I'm thinking that's funny, right?
Yeah.
And everybody around me is laughing, and I'm pointing at myself like, I think it's shitty that they threw him out, but
it was funny.
I wasn't gonna feel bad because that coach had me thrown out. Yeah. So how bad am I gonna feel about him getting thrown out? But you do that in the previous series, you have them throw, out a coach or suspend a coach. I don't like that stuff. I just don't. To suspend a coach for a game that wasn't necessary, and then to throw Tibbetts out in a must-win game 4, that's just. But that gave them a little spark. That'll happen sometimes. And it did a little motivation, but it just wasn't enough. It wasn't to be. But it was fun. We had a great time, great season, met great people. Nothing bad to say about that at all. Just really good. So we'll see what happens, what goes from here with the WNBA, because during the off season, I think there's going to be negotiations and contract talks, players union. What's that?
Because their season's a little short, right? So when does the next season start? Spring?
Yeah, what do we start? Like April? May? Well, it's, it was a couple more games this year. And this was the first time they had 7 games for the finals.
Yeah, I do remember Jay.
So they made changes like that, too. Yeah, May 16th to September 11th.
So it looks like there will be next year. There's going to be an expansion of 14.
They're adding 2. And then there's more coming too in the next couple of years.
Is he just saying that there's currently only 12 teams in the WNBA?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got you.
Yep. And 8 make the playoffs. So only 4 teams don't make the playoffs.
That's kind of sad. Only being one of those 4 teams that don't make the playoffs.
Yeah. Right? But yeah, it was good. We'll see what happens with that. It'll be interesting. Caitlin Clark was at the Kansas City Chiefs game last night with Taylor Swift in Kansas City. That was a fun, interesting game. But finally, the Chiefs finally won a game against a good team. And then there was a big fight at the end after the game. Juju Smith was on the wrong end of that fight. He got slapped around like a little bitch.
Did he really?
Yeah, and I love Juju. He was a Steeler at one time. I actually have a signed jersey of Juju. But he got smacked in the helmet when he had his helmet on. Then his helmet came off, and they got into it, and he ended up finally, I think he was on top of the guy at the bottom of the pile for a minute, but the initial contact was not good. It was not, didn't look good in Juju's favor, really. All stupid. One of the Lions players didn't want to shake Mahomes' hands and then walked over and smacked on Juju. So, but Travis Kelce had a great game. Patrick Mahomes looked like Patrick Mahomes again. And Detroit had a really cool play that they scored a touchdown on. That there was some rule that they violated, and apparently, it was a trick play, but it worked, right? So the quarterback, Jared Goff, was under center, taps the center on the butt, and kind of jogs down the left side of the line. And then who was it? I forget who threw the pass, but like tight end, somebody came in, got the snap and threw it to Jared Goff, and he made a great catch, bobbling it, and then went into the end zone. But I guess because he was still moving. Is this it? You got it? Watch this.
Out of there, direct snap, throw to Goff, who gets it.
Look at that, dude. Doesn't that look great? It was cool, but I guess that was a penalty. He was supposed to get set. But
wait, who was supposed to?
Jared Goff was supposed to get set. But usually, wouldn't you think the coaches?
He's in motion, no?
Wouldn't you know that? Yeah, I don't know, dude. People are questioning it. I don't know the rule, but I would think the coaches would know the rule, right? Yeah. If you're going to implement a play like this.
I was not sure. I'll let it play while you talk.
Yeah, you'd want to. Look, I mean, it was great, and he bobbled it and caught it up against the guy, and it was a cool play. And I don't even think the announcers, as we listened to it, nobody understood
what the call.
What the rule was. Yeah, but you would, like I said, you'd think they would know, but apparently, from what I saw this morning, and doing some notes and stuff, is that they didn't know this rule applied this way, or they would have said it. So it wasn't that Goff made a mistake. You know what I mean? It was designed to do it the exact way they did it, and it worked. But they should have designed it differently, had him stop, and I think they would have done that. It would have been a pause, but whatever. It was still interesting. But little things like that didn't happen. It was a close game for most of the game. They were in it, and then Kansas City just finished it off at the end. But Kansas City's kind of playing for their life.
Yes, they are.
You know what I mean? They really are. You know who else is impressive right now, since we're talking sports? Baker Mayfield. He is fun to watch, man. And I know that was, maybe a little hard for you if you're watching it against San Francisco. But San Francisco played solid too. They did. But Baker Mayfield has that little bit of something. And I remember watching him in a game. It might have been the year before they went to the playoffs.
Okay.
Which, they haven't been to the playoffs many times since they came back to Cleveland in the last, 25 years. But there was a game that normally Cleveland would lose. And they just couldn't get over the hump, much like Detroit. They just had this losing victim mentality, right? And they had a game where they came back and won, and Baker was all just pumped. I'm like, man, he is their guy. They finally have a franchise quarterback, and this guy doesn't want to lose. He's changing the mindset of the team. Like, in these spots, we can win these games. We don't have to be the team that finds a new way to lose in these games. We can win these games. And they did, and it changed, and then they went to the playoffs, and then the following year he got hurt, and then they decided to abandon him over that, which has cost the team dearly ever since. Do you know they're paying 8 different quarterbacks money right now? 8. That's what I saw.
I did see that as well. I saw a little mini articles there.
Yeah, your mic comes in and out. Like,
sorry.
I
don't have my headphone on, so I can't hear myself.
Better.
Yeah, but I did see that. They
Isn't
were
that
paying
crazy?
way
8?
too many people, and they still managed to be at the very bottom of their...
I can't stop thinking about it. After seeing Baker play yesterday, what would the Browns be like
if they
with Baker Mayfield?
I mean, especially with their round pick, their picks that they currently had, their last year picks or whatever.
Dude, look, their defense is tough. Even though they suck, their defense was tough on Pittsburgh yesterday. I mean, Pittsburgh finally got it rolling at the end, but, first 3 scores by Pittsburgh were all field goals. They looked good on defense, and they do have some weapons. Jerry Jeudy, even though he dropped an easy one, he's still a good target. They have had running backs. They have decent backs, I guess, right now. They have a good tight end. I don't know. I just think they'd be they would not be the shit show that they are now if Baker Mayfield was still on the team. And I'm glad he's having success elsewhere. Like I said, I'm a Steeler fan, but I also become a fan of players. I even said it one time when we needed a quarterback and Baker Mayfield wasn't settled anywhere, when we didn't know what was going to happen. He was with the Rams for a short period of time and going through all that bullshit before he finally ended up in Tampa Bay. That, man, I would have taken him because I like that moxie. I like what he does.
I'll be honest with you. I'd like him a little more than Purdy.
Yeah.
It hurts to say out loud, but yeah, no, I think I had like the past 2-3 years, I was a really big Bakerfield fan.
Yeah.
See, something about him, like you said, so there's something about him that just makes him more.
And he is cocky, right? Yeah. And I love that cockiness. But even though he's that cocky, he was asked after the game during the press conference about the chance of MVP. Mm-hmm. And his response was, look, this is game 6. We're just getting started. It's a little early for all of that. And really put it in perspective, which was more of a humble thing to say. And it was a back and forth game. And I love that when a team can do what the 49ers was doing against the Buccaneers, mm-hmm. and then you see the other team come back out and do it again. It's like 2 heavyweights throwing punches. And I love shit like that. That was exciting. That was good stuff, honestly.
The Ravens lost to the Rams 17-3.
Yeah, but Lamar's out.
Oh, okay.
So it's a shit show in the Ravens.
The running back, right? Is he
Derrick Henry. Yeah,
healthy? Not doing so well this season.
Not like last season.
Gotcha.
Remember, he had 3 straight games of fumbles.
Oof.
Not good.
The Ravens are 1-5.
Look at the
yikes.
Look at the standings. It's a little shocking right now. honestly. I mean, it's really not shocking that the Jets are terrible.
Yep.
It is a little shocking that the Dolphins are as terrible as they are. You would think they'd be 2-3, 3-2 at least, right? But that's the Patriots.
The Patriots
they're
always
4-2.
they always.
But they've gone through some. Now they seem to be back a little bit.
Like
the coach,
it's evened out a little bit.
Derek May's doing great. He's kind of fun to watch. And then you get to the North, and
it's confusing a little bit.
Well, it's just a mess, dude. Because you got Burrow, who's out for the year now.
Out for the year?
Yeah.
Completely? No.
Yeah.
Oof.
And they just brought in Joe Flacco, who the Browns benched. So Flacco started
for the Bengals?
Bengals yesterday. Yeah. So we play the Bengals. Steelers have a short week this week, and they play the Bengals on Thursday Night Football.
Okay.
So we have a chance to be 5-1 and put them at 2-5. And honestly, it would be a huge collapse for the Steelers to not win the division.
I was about to say,
honestly,
didn't someone already secure their division?
I don't think so. You can't do that soon. You can't do that.
Because the Steelers already played. So they played the Bengals. Didn't they already play the Ravens? Or they're going to play the Bengals?
They're going to play the Bengals.
No, you guys already played the Browns.
Yes. Which was yesterday.
Yesterday.
And then the Colts. Nobody expected the Colts with Daniel Jones, who got, thrown out of New York, right? He's like his career started over again with them. Good for him. And then keep going down. I'll just give some quick thoughts.
The Jaguars.
Wasn't expecting that from the Jaguars. Was expecting the Texans to be better. Still expect the Texans to be better and be in that fight. The Chargers, they were kind of expected to do this. But you would have thought it was going to be a fight with the Chiefs. And the Broncos are up there. The Raiders finally got a win, another win yesterday. That they've been struggling. So you definitely see them. Then you go over to the NFC and the Eagles losing. That was a tough loss for them. The Commanders play tonight. They play the Bears, so that'll be interesting because this is like last year. It was the game where the Commanders won on that Hail Mary at the end.
Oh,
remember
against the Lions?
No, against the Bears.
Oh, against the Bears. Gotcha. Okay.
And Caleb Williams, and so that'll be an interesting rematch there. I expect the Lions to be good. The Vikings, you're just not sure what they're going to do. They have some great talent on that team, but whether they'll be there. But the most dominant team right now, we thought was maybe the Eagles, but really it's the Buccaneers is the most dominant team in the NFL right now. I'd certainly give it to them. And the 49ers, with the injuries they've had, to still be at the top of their division. But look, you got three.
These are big hitters over here.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely say. I think the weakest of those is the Seahawks, though. I honestly do. Out of those three.
I mean, but the Seahawks, they gave, who was it? They did a pretty big beatdown this weekend, did they not?
I didn't see this. I didn't watch the Seahawks.
They beat
I watched
the Jaguars,
a lot of things.
I guess 12.
Yeah.
20.
Yeah. No. Look, they're doing decent after dumping Geno, who's with the Raiders, Geno Smith. So
I feel like Geno Smith is like belongs on the Raiders though. But I feel like I don't know, something about Geno Smith gives me Raiders vibes.
I think he's kind of hit that same spot that Russell hit. Kind of like,
like you can see the downhill from the top.
Yeah, because he was a late bloomer, anyways.
Yeah.
So if you probably, I don't know, you may not have ever heard this, the old saying about when a horse shits fast, and
I don't think I ever heard that.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's over quick.
Gotcha.
And that's how I feel about him. He's done great for a few years.
Not the best though.
No, he's not that tier of quarterback, and he's done it. I don't know that there's more in the tank right now, honestly. That's my take on that. And just the organization as a whole. I mean, hopefully, I think Tom Brady might help change that.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But I'm sure Tom Brady is not satisfied with this shit. Seeing what it's been. That'll be a thing. And maybe a preview of the playoffs will be coming up real soon too. We're probably going to go to LA for that game with the Steelers and the Chargers.
Hell yeah.
And here, that's a great stadium too.
Like not only, yeah, oh yeah. I heard
SoFi,
there's actually a really good stadium.
Yeah.
There's a really popular soccer player that came to the MLS from Europe.
Okay.
His name's Son, and because he's at LA, the soccer club in the MLS, they invited him to that same stadium and had him like meet some players and stuff like that. He said that stadium is better than most soccer club stadiums in Europe, and
Wow.
so that's a pretty high praise coming from someone that's playing professional soccer in Europe. So like, I'm interested to see the actual stadium because of what he said. Because like
that's interesting.
So yeah, it's supposedly much better than a lot of European stadiums. So
yeah, our soccer stadiums are way different here.
No. He's talking about the
right.
the
That's what I
Chargers.
mean. Yeah,
Gotcha,
so
gotcha.
like you're talking like their stadiums are actually very, very nice.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's comparing
because they
them,
spend ridiculous money on players.
Yes.
I mean, we think the NFL players get paid a lot.
you should
they
see what a
make a
bench
shit
player
ton.
gets paid, probably about the same price as a.
You're probably right about that for sure. Might as well continue on with this. Penn State, big shocker. I didn't think they would fire the coach. I was shocked Sunday morning to find out that Franklin got fired because he just got a big contract extension, I don't know, 2 years ago. They still owe this guy, I believe, $49 million. So this guy is going to walk out with a buyout and not have to coach anymore. To get rid of him, this university is going to eat almost $50 million. Now, you know I'm a capitalist, right? You know that I really believe, get your money, do what you can. You know, the money that the college coaches are getting now, at least the top coaches, is very similar and close to what the top NFL coaches get. And there used to be a big difference there. You know, they would get maybe 2-3 million, you know, and your NFL coaches would be in the 7 to 10 range if they were really good. But now these really good college coaches are getting 7, 8. We'd have to look it up. Who are the highest paid coaches?
But why did he quit or did he get fired?
No, he got fired, dude.
Well,
he got fired because this team was ranked just a few weeks ago, like they were number 3, I think, in the country. They lost to Oregon, and then they lost to UCLA last week, and then this past Saturday they lost to Northwestern. And UCLA and Northwestern are the 2 bottom teams in the Big Ten.
Gotcha. Okay.
And now UCLA is actually playing better because UCLA fired their coach too. And so they have a different guy calling the plays. And we were joking at the beginning of the season how Tennessee and UCLA swapped quarterbacks. Yes. And the quarterback that came from UCLA was doing really good in Tennessee, still is. But the quarterback from Tennessee that there was the controversy about the money and you know, the NIL money went to UCLA, wasn't playing very well, but they're actually playing better since that time, since they made that change. Okay. But still, when you're expected to compete, they made the playoffs last year, Penn State. And yeah, I think they should have made the playoffs. The team that I didn't think should make the playoffs last year was Indiana. That was my problem with the picks because Indiana had beaten all the good teams, they beaten all the bad and mediocre teams, but they hadn't really played any really good teams. Okay. And the one really good team they played, they lost to. but they only had, the one loss. And so with their record, it was, they got in.
Okay.
This year, they've built on that. Now Indiana's beating good teams. I think some people even are ranking them at number 1.
And I'm at 3 on Google.
Yeah, there was some other ones, but I mean, there's different polls.
Yeah.
But I know some people were voting for them to be the number 1 team, even ahead of Ohio State, because they were comparing Ohio State's game against Illinois versus Indiana's game against Illinois.
Oh, I do remember.
And Indiana just smoked them. Yeah, that's part of it. But Illinois isn't horrible, but they should not have been in the top 10 in the first place.
Gotcha.
They just shouldn't have been. But Indiana's legit. They're showing they're legit this year. I still think Ohio State's the best team in the country right now and only getting better. And, I was obviously super concerned about Alabama losing to Florida State. And that's not a good loss right now. Florida State, that's their best win. Florida State's, do you even see Florida State there? No, you don't even see them there, dude. And again, Texas, remember Texas was in the top 5 at one point, right? So a lot of things flipped upside, but now Alabama's looked great. Great. Big game on Saturday. That was an excellent win against Missouri. And it was a good game. It was a good game. And they played at Missouri. So for them to play a ranked team at the away game, that's a good solid win. So maybe my whole season that I thought was going to be total garbage isn't garbage. Even if you look, where do they have Notre Dame? Notre Dame's going to be
13.
and they are the highest ranked 2-loss team. So that puts them right on the bubble of potential playoffs. But they have to win out. I believe Notre Dame has to win out, and they've got a tough game this Saturday against USC. So they beat USC. That'll be solid. They need that win for sure.
That's
they definitely need that
the
win.
hardest game on their schedule for the rest of the
Pittsburgh
season?
hasn't been a pushover either, so that'll be one. But yeah, USC and I'll say Pittsburgh. Those are the 2 games to watch for. The other ones that should be no-brainer. If you don't win those, you don't deserve to be there anyways. But they need wins against solid teams at this point, especially with 2 losses. Again, you see that they are the only 2-loss team ranked. And to be ranked in the middle of the top 25 says something about what they think about them in that case, So, yeah, my season isn't total garbage. I thought it was finished with Notre Dame. There's an outside chance that they might be able to slip in, but having Alabama there, honestly, if I had to pick today, who would be my championship, who would be in my finals?
Okay.
Ohio State and Alabama.
Ohio State and Alabama. Okay.
And I would go to that. I would.
Oh, yeah.
I would be there. Yeah, definitely. I mean, we went to the game last year, Ohio State, Notre Dame in Atlanta, so I could definitely get myself to go for that if that were to happen. So that would be kind of fun. That'd make my year. Well, let's start off my year.
I was about to say, yeah.
So that we could be into next year. Oh, that would be good. So, yeah, I just can't believe, though. It's kind of crazy, though, for a college to eat $49 million.
For a coach.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, at some point, don't you have to just suck it up and take it?
That's what I was going to say.
Here's the thing, man. Because, again, there's a lot of people that can't stand the coaches getting paid that much money. I don't mind the coaches getting paid that much money. But you know what I do mind? I do mind them being able to walk away. All these guaranteed contract bullshit, and that you don't perform, and then you can still walk away with the money.
You don't give them a reason to actually give a fuck. Basically,
yeah, it's not right. I just don't think it's right. Maybe it needs to be half,
or some sort of penalty if you were to get fired, or there has to be something in the contract clause to not just give out money, or especially not that much money. Like, I can understand you walk away with, like,
It's
paying
hard
him.
because can you make a rule or something? Can the NCAA make a rule, or can there be a rule that it can't be guaranteed? It's just a bad look. It is a bad look. Because I do understand when people say, well, he's just a football coach. He's not as important as, a teacher, scientist, and whatever. I get that. And it's just, to me, it's just a bad look when somebody's getting paid and they don't have to do the job anymore. Like, here, you suck. You leave. And look, he was a good coach. He just couldn't win the big game. And then when you couldn't win the big game, you were already in trouble. And this is multiple years going on that he wasn't able to win the big game. And then you start losing or fall this fast and do it all in a row, have 3 losses like that in a row. I get it. They're just, and I guess the donors, to the school are going to have a say about that and putting that. I mean, somebody has to decide it's okay to eat that money to get rid of him, right? And could that money be better used somewhere else, something else? How do I argue that?
Definitely.
You know what I mean? It's hard to not argue.
That is a lot of money just to
So
let it go out
I
the
think
door.
the contracts are too long because some of these are like 10-year deals.
Really?
Yeah, look up what his deal was.
I did not know that.
Yeah, some of these are really long deals and then being guaranteed. Yeah. Yeah, Franklin. Just put Franklin in there. Yeah. There you go. Make that bigger. Yeah, there we go. Preseason poll, 22, and their quarterback got knocked out too. He's done for the season too. I don't know. Second biggest buyout in the history of college football. Texans A&M's Jimbo Fisher buyout remains the most at more than $76 million.
Yikes.
Yeah, dude. So, but do that. Look up how many years was his contract for, or contract details.
$10-year contract.
10-year contract.
$8 million annually.
Yep.
What?
And that's huge, dude.
A lot of
That's
money.
a lot of money. And so I think the contracts are too long, and the amount guaranteed is ridiculous.
I think that is kind of crazy, especially because, like, I mean, I know in the NFL, like, you still get, like, certain people only for a certain amount of time, but in college, you're, like, guaranteed you only get these kids for X amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
So giving a coach that, I mean, maybe if he's a good coach, you want to keep him around, but I don't know. That is a weird.
Even if you want to keep him around
for college, because times change, so you don't know how much funding. So 10 years is a long time for a school.
A long time.
For a school,
a long time for anyone. And the NFL players is different. Basketball, as we've talked about, has guaranteed contracts, where in football, only a portion of it, very rarely is the whole contract guaranteed. That's only recently that shit started to happen. And the people who fucked that up for everybody else was the Browns with Deshaun Watson and that guaranteed money.
And where's
and
he
look
now?
what happened with that, right? And so when somebody of that caliber gets that kind of deal, and you have, say, 6 or 7 other quarterbacks that are for sure better than Deshaun Watson, well, they're like, why shouldn't they say, well, I want the Deshaun Watson deal. I want guaranteed money too. How can you not give it to them when you have proven quarterbacks with proven performance? I mean, Deshaun Watson was maybe made the playoffs twice, and I don't think he even won a game in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So there was this potential there that people saw, but he wasn't in that top group. He wasn't with the Josh Allens and Patrick Mahomes. He wasn't in that group. But he got paid like he was. And so the guys that are really in that group, why wouldn't they want that? That makes sense.
Even more.
Yeah, in more.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This shit's got to be adjusted because people aren't going to have it. They're just going to, people are already upset about, wage gaps, wealth gaps. And so that brings me to something else to talk about was the Olympia was this weekend. And it's not something I've been to yet. I get asked all the time if I'm going. I think people just think because, me being in fitness and loving this kind of stuff, that I might go. And I would like to. I think it's going to remain in Vegas, but they're moving it to maybe a different place, a different location in Vegas from where it's been at. But I guess it's still going to stay there, which is good. I mean, and I like Vegas. Don't get me wrong. Even though last time I was there, I almost died. So my last 2 attempts to go at Vegas, I almost died end of last October, and then I was supposed to go to Vegas, I think in February of last year as well. And yeah, I had to cancel the trip like a day or 2 before. Long story that I'm not going to talk about there. But so the talk is about the money, and only recently did the money really increase. And you got all these guys. Look, this is it. It's not a lot of money. And it costs a lot of money to be in the sport, to dedicate your time. It's hard to have another job or outside job and be a competitor that's a pro, and especially a pro that's going to step on stage like this. But $600,000 was what it was for this year. But the question was up, and a friend of mine posted it on Facebook, and so I had this back and forth a little bit with this chick that is a female NPC competitor who I guess claims to be a conservative too. She told me I sounded like a liberal. I just love. Really, I'm not the one playing victim, but it was about the disparity between the men's and the women's. So if you could pull up the women's Olympia, yeah, the 2025, and then put compensation, and this is like her 5th or 6th time winning, Andrea Shaw, and my friend Jimmy knows her. And the one of the other chicks that was on stage too, that she placed, I used to see back in Toledo. But
Ashley.
No, that wasn't it. I think she might have. She was in the top 5, maybe. I'd have to see. I just saw it on stage when those are just the winners. But what about the money? Price, didn't it have it right there? That's Mr. Olympia. No. Yeah. All right, go.
Is it called Mrs. Olympia?
No, just put Olympia. Just put prize. Yeah, that should work.
We're going over to ChatGPT real quick.
Yeah, way easier. Come on now, you know that. I love my ChatGPT.
Stuck on old habits.
We got Women's Olympia payout, 2025. There you go. So much better because we'll just get an actual answer. 2 million, but no, the big one. So 50,000. It's either 50, 60,000. That's last year.
So it couldn't find a confirmed breakdown of the 2025 women's division.
Oh, but it's so do you want it to continue? You want me to just say yes? So I think that's what it was. I think it was 50,000.
Okay. Yeah. Looks
That's
like
what I thought it was.
50 is.
Yeah. And that, I'm going to get it. The whole wellness division.
Wellness division?
Dude, the women's, here's the thing. First of all, bodybuilding is a very niche sport. Very niche. It's been unable to grow pretty much my entire life. It's only been, it has a very limited small fan base.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even know how you measure it, but by all measurements that I can see, even with the growth of the Arnold, which is like the number 2 show after the Olympia, the most prestigious place to win is the Arnold in Columbus every year.
Okay.
And Derek Lunsford actually won that too. And he won, and that has similar prize money. And he won, I believe, the New York Pro. So he had 3 wins this year. And a lot of the top competitors that used to win the Olympia, they only, sometimes some of them will only compete once a year. Where some guys who haven't won it yet will compete twice. They'll compete in the Arnold and then compete in the Olympia. Or you have to win, obviously you have to qualify. So they'll compete in 2 or 3 different shows. But usually whoever wins the Arnold is a favorite, obviously, for the Olympia. Because it's a show that the best are going to show up at, right? And what's also interesting is this is the first time that somebody has won the Olympia, lost the Olympia, and then won it back again since Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was the last, person who was the only one to do that. So it's a rare thing. If you don't, usually you either win them in a row and you go on a streak, or
you don't win any at all.
Yeah. You don't see the falling off. And there's a debate going on. There's people throwing out the nationality card because Hadi came in second, Iranian. He's not a great spokesman for the sport. Doesn't spend his time here to be able to promote it. Look, it's just the sport is just not promoted well. Has the same problem that the WNBA has in the fact that they need to do better promoting the sport. They need to grow the fan base. And I think it's at a point where it's hard to do that. And so when people want to complain, and that's what the complaint was by this woman is, well, the woman who won, Drea Shaw, who won the Miss Olympia, that she worked just as hard. And in fact, this person was trying to make the point to me that works even harder. It's harder for women because of their hormones and having kids and blah, 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 blah. I'm like, get the fuck out of here. It's not harder for women than it is men, for one. That's just total bullshit. Men deal with hormone issues just like women do as we get older. So that's just crap. Men have been told, like I said before, to just suck it up. That's what men have been told when it comes to testosterone and things. And, at a certain point, some of it's not healthy. It's proven to be not healthy. It's healthy to be fit. It's healthy to have muscle. But doing some of the things that the top people do to be the best in the open, the men's open, are not healthy. Same for women. Women have to do some of the same things the men do as far as taking testosterone. I mean, it is a sport where part of the sport, whether it's legal or not, part of the sport is taking drugs. And then people have this mixed views of it. It's not cheating because it's part of the sport. You have to do it. Very few people have been able to accomplish the task of becoming a pro natural. And even those that have, Jay Cutler, Ronnie Coleman, and I believe them. I believe that they were natural when they became pro and were able to do that. But they weren't able to win and not take stuff. Not at that level. They were able to break into that level, but not win. And that's what happened. Ronnie looked around after winning and qualifying as a pro and started finishing 8th, 9th, and 10th in shows. And that wasn't going to work at this level. It's just not. So I don't look, if they separated, here's my point. If they separated the men and women at the Olympia, if the women had their own separate Olympia and it was not connected to the men, where it's all done together, all the men's divisions, the women's divisions, all done together, because that doesn't happen in other sports exactly, right? I mean, you don't have you have men's soccer and women's soccer.
So
they're not having
just one.
It's Olympia, but yeah, you have the divisions and women just competing against women, but it's all promoted as one thing.
Gotcha.
Where in other sports, it's promoted separately. It's not promoted as one thing.
I get you.
Right?
Yeah.
The women aren't playing basketball their season alongside the men. It's just not a thing. It just isn't. And my point is, if it was separated, how much money would they get? How much interest would there be?
They wouldn't get money.
They wouldn't even get the $50,000.
Yep.
Honestly, and I'm not just being a dick about this. I'm like, people that think that it's hard work and that you deserve to be paid for your hard work, then ditch diggers would be paid the most money, for God's sakes. People who break their backs in the field that still hand-pick crops would be the richest people in town. Does hard work matter? Yeah, hard work does matter. But it's value. What value are you to someone else? And how limited is your skill? The more people that can do your job, the less your job is worth. The reason entry-level jobs pay minimum wage or barely over minimum wage is because any motherfucker can do it. Anybody. A monkey can do it. Now we have machines doing it. We don't need as many people. How many people, remember when you used to go into a fast food place and there were people all over? The only place you see that around here is what? In-N-Out? Or Chick-fil-A,
yeah.
Right? But if you walked into a McDonald's, there's going to be 2 or 3 people. 3 people tops right now.
Yeah.
And that's all they need to do that.
They don't even need cashiers anymore at this point because they have the self-serving, ordering things and stuff like that. Yeah.
They only still have it a little bit for the old people.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, you can still go up to the counter and order.
Yeah, you can, but most people have gotten used to just going up to the little
you're not
screen thing, tapping whatever, and then because a lot of people have really killed the whole interaction. People do not want to interact with other people nowadays.
Yeah.
So it's made it a lot easier for companies to just be like, oh, just put a computer in there. They'll do it themselves.
But two of the better companies still have people, so there is value to some people.
Oh yeah, I agree.
But when the thing comes down to the bottom line and making money, it's becoming more and more rare. That's my whole point.
Yeah.
It's becoming more and more rare. And at least for Chick-fil-A, I think they hire better people. They're friendlier, they're nicer.
I think they have they actually have a very set standard of how they want people to be working and stuff like that. Like I feel a lot of other companies have become a little bit more lenient about what their rules are and stuff like that.
They're looking for a body.
Exactly.
That's it.
Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, those are companies that are like, you better be working right. Because they pay them well. They pay them very well.
Yeah. It's Costco is another good example.
Very
Costco is, they pay their people the best and one of the best retailers out there, and they retain people.
I mean,
they pay better.
The benefits and everything, Costco knows what they're
doing.
But
you're going to get better people though, too, and they do. But we're seeing less and less of that. But my whole point is, the women, it's just you may not think it's fair, but life isn't fair. It just isn't. We all don't get the same starting point, and we never will. We're not all going to get the same outcome, and we never will. What we do have is the opportunity. And that's what my point was with this person going back and forth on Facebook is we all have obstacles. We all have obstacles. Mine isn't my skin color. And if you think yours is, you know what? Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But either way, you got to still go on and figure shit out no matter what. Or whatever else you think your obstacle is. You got to figure it out. It's people that have had stutters, people that were just had dyslexia. They were really smart people, but they had to figure out how to work around the dyslexia, how to make it work. That was what they had. They had to figure out a solution. Just crying about it doesn't work. Even if you're right, even if you're legitimately right, it's not going to matter. So getting into the pay, men's and women's sports, you know what? You want to make more people want to come to the sport. And that's also was my point too. And it wasn't just with women. If men and women want to get paid better to be bodybuilders, you have to get more fans into the sport. Because I don't know where you could probably stream it. Ask, don't do Google. Don't do Google on me. Do ChatGPT. And my question is, where were people able to stream, or how were people able to watch the 2025 Olympia? How were people watch it live? How were people able to watch it? Pay-per-view.
It's a pay-per-view thing?
I guess.
Really?
I didn't even know, dude.
I didn't know that.
Does it even say how much it was? And then what was the free fan channel content? There is some free content available, press conference. Yeah, who cares about that? Beat the Olympia.
$80. Ooh, how long is the Olympia? Is it a multiple day?
Weekend.
It's a weekend thing?
Yep. Saturday, Sunday. But dude, I didn't even see it promoted. I didn't see anything promoted for it. I didn't see anything on my social media pages. And I got that kind of content that comes up, right? Like, I got to tell you, so I was interested in this. So it's been coming up. So, I got these bags right here that I can't stand under my eyes.
Okay.
And so these glasses, these red light therapy glasses started popping up on my thing where, like, it would be just red light that would.
Oh, it's like a little mask.
It's like a mask, but they're actual glasses.
Yeah.
And there was red light inside there. And this was so. I wanted to know if they were legit or not, if that was like a real science, if that was, and it was like, yeah, no, it's a real company that's selling them, but that's not really a legit product. And then, so I started digging a little deeper, and I found this company called Omnilux, and they have a legit product for that, and they have one for like your whole face and red light rejuvenation and stuff like that. Like, that's been studied, tested, or they've done clinical trials with it. So they've actually, like, it's a legit product, and it's not cheap.
Oh,
and I would just it's like $500.
I was about to say red light therapy is one of the more expensive.
Yeah, I mean, you can get up to over $100,000.
They are expensive. Yeah, that is for
for
sure.
the things, and not just couple light bulbs stuff.
Exactly,
That's just
exactly.
crap. But the real
Like the
legit stuff,
proper,
the
yep,
proper
yep, yep,
stuff
yep,
is
yep.
over $100,000 because I've looked it up because I'm not there yet. In fact, I'm probably at the $10,000 cold plunge thing.
Okay,
The cold plunge that I want's between $8 and $10,000. But they just put one in at Mountainside. They have their, so I'm gonna try that, and that might push me. And now
it push you to buy.
Now that we just have to get the signatures for my divorce. Yeah, I'll have more to say after the signatures are signed. But I'm gonna be more apt to
spend a little more
to buy that kind of stuff now. Yeah. Just out. Shut up, Troy. I don't want anything to fuck up those signatures, man.
But
nothing to fuck up those signatures. But yeah, so it's legit.
Mm. Oh yeah, recently in recent years, it's been blowing up in popularity, has it not? Like the red light therapy.
So I just checked it out once. Went to the website. I'm seeing it
everywhere.
It's popping up 25 times in my feed. And because my TVs are YouTube TV.
So they're all connected. So
it's all connected.
So it's the same
when
ads
I search
everywhere.
So I get ads on my TV. When I'm watching a football game and an ad comes on, I'm seeing ads that you're not seeing from companies that are. Everything is, people have it's such a change in the world. It's targeted marketing versus just mass, broad, buckshot kind of thing. You know what I mean?
I get you.
Marketing. Yeah. Way, way different. So that
I did look it up, and it did say that it was mixed in reach and visibility. It wasn't an overwhelming media blitz outside the bodybuilding flex culture.
But that's the point, dude. For this sport to grow,
they need to go outside the bodybuilding.
You know what they need? They need coverage by ESPN or Fox Sports. Somebody's got to cover it, dude. There used to be a show years and years ago. Ron Harris talked about it, remember, where they used to cover shit going on in bodybuilding and stuff. But we don't have that now. You have podcasts and stuff like that.
Or like an influencer here or there that's into it.
That'll talk, and people I follow that kind of stuff, I like to see C-Bum interviewed and things like that. But you need more C-Bum. See, I think the bodies that people want to see are the Chris Bumstead bodies. I respect what all of the top pros do, but I get that a lot of people just, trash it because of their distended stomachs and just a lot of things. Or to me, the use of synthol, which is where they inject this synthol, this oil to make the area look bigger, kind of. That actually probably is cheating. At least in my mind, it is. Okay, because you're not working for it.
Yeah, just like
right?
An
know what I mean?
Right then and there, yeah.
Where you have to still work for it when you're using a steroid. You still have to work for it. You still got to put the work in to make it all work out. So, yeah, and the people that have comments talking about pros and who has calves and, oh my God, like, dude, you're a fat slob and you're trashing on somebody. I hate that. That just annoys the shit out of me when somebody is totally unfit and judging somebody else's physique like that. It's like, you're trash, dude. Shut the fuck up. Like, just take a seat. I don't know. I don't like that. Just a personal thing.
I agree.
Yeah. But again, you gotta get outside of that. It's like I said with the WNBA, you gotta get out. They have the LGBTQ community. They're there. They've been there for 28 years. Stronger than ever. If you want to grow the WNBA, you have to get more straight fans. And that's all I'm saying. You just have to get more just sports fans. And you have to do it in a way that you don't piss off your base and attract new people in.
That's the important part.
Yeah, I get it. You have to do it. You have to. And you know, I can stand certain things. Look, again, I'm super conservative. You know, people know I'm MAGA, but I don't know the people around me how many really know that. Only a couple that follow me on Facebook that are people that we met that really truly know that. But I don't have any problem with that. That's like, I'm not homophobic. I don't have issues with that. I have issues when people, stupid things. There were a couple things I mentioned during the season when they did some stupid dances or whatever. It was almost like drag shit or something they did at halftime one time.
WNBA?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was something during the season that I complained about. It's like that really wasn't necessary. You know what I'm saying? It really wasn't. If you got to really do your one pride night, okay, you know. But again, there's got to be a way. You got to draw more people in, and really to draw more people in was real simple. You got to have better officials, and the girls need to get better. They need to get better. They need to practice more.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
you got to hit the rim.
at least
less
hit the rim.
Yes, less air balls. And you got to make 95% of the uncontested layups.
God,
you got it.
Please.
You know? Yeah. You know what? Like, because she's such a great player, Copper was, when she was driving, she was going underneath on how you go underneath one side, and instead of laying it up on the right side, would do a reverse layup on the other side, and that was to counteract the big players like Asia Wilson blocking the shot. Then you couldn't block; they couldn't block it, and she made them. You know, almost all of them. I think maybe she missed one, but she was making them. Okay, that's what you got to do. That's what you have to do.
It's okay to miss one here or there.
It's okay.
But if you're missing 90% of them, like, come on.
You can't miss a shit ton of open shots. Yeah, that was it. And you couldn't stop. You couldn't stop the Aces. They were hitting threes.
They were doing what they were doing.
Insane, dude. I didn't even want to look at the percentages because I just was not. I wanted my team to win. But total respect for how they played and did all that. But again, I'm just talking about growing the sport.
Yeah.
You got to do the same with bodybuilding. Officials, because it's subjective. You know, people got tired of that with boxing, right?
I mean, even to this day, it's still an issue.
Yes, it's still an issue. But there's less of an issue in MMA.
Oh, yeah.
It happens.
It happens, but
not as much as boxing.
Oh, yeah.
Not as much as boxing. And when MMA first started, there was no issue because
there was no rules.
You just fought until somebody quit or got knocked the fuck out, man. I love that for that reason. Nobody could fuck it up. You know, in the guessing, nobody likes that kind of stuff.
You're not wrong.
You're not wrong. That's it. But with it being so subjective, and what do we want to promote? What do you want to promote? Do you just want to promote mass? It's just about size. Is that what it is? And that's why I was saying I had touched on it earlier, and I was totally weirded out. So I was looking at wellness. I'm like, what the fuck actually is wellness? And wellness is bikini with legs and ass being bigger, but still having a slender feminine upper body. Versus the bikini, and it's not as hard muscular. Like where Dawn's at now, like she could not do wellness. Even though she's got good legs. She's too symmetrical. She's got definition, hard definition in the muscles, like where she's got veins popping out. You don't do that in wellness and bikini. It's more of a smooth look. Where it's a full muscle, you're not seeing fat, jiggle around, you know what I mean? It's full.
Yeah.
But there's not the hard definition like that Dawn has. And Dawn's, the classes above her, hers is figure, and then you have physique and bodybuilding. Those are your two bigger classes.
Gotcha.
But the wellness, I just don't get it. You're literally, so if you don't have a big, and I pulled up this picture for me. They were all wearing the same bikini. I don't know if that's the thing they require for wellness, but they were all wearing the same one. And they all had boob jobs and big butts. Now, that's the thing in women's bodybuilding, too. Because even Dawn lost her boobs. When she lost weight, women will lose their boobs.
Yeah.
Some cases like that. That's the thing. But yeah, it's bigger round asses. And if you don't have a bigger round ass, that's not going to be your category. But it's just a weird category.
Yeah, it says high rounded glutes, but not thick.
Yeah. See, gentle shoulder caps where Dawn's are muscular shoulder caps.
There's no
deep muscle cuts. And Dawn has deep muscle cuts. I don't even understand that.
Like it's contradicting.
And there's so many different more divisions now, including for the men. But you should have seen the men this year in physique. Pull up the men. Men's physique. Olympia 2025. Yeah, it's right down there already. Yep. Look at those guys. This used to be the division that was models. And look at those guys. Look at their legs. Because they always used to make fun of physique, that the guys who did physique didn't train their legs. Do those motherfuckers look like they don't train their legs? Now, I think their shorts are probably, at this level especially, are custom made.
Yeah.
So they're probably made tighter around their legs. But you could still tell they got decent size. And this is way bigger than what this division started out at 12, 15 years ago when it first started. I mean, those guys got that. That's why, originally me personally, I wanted to do masters and do classic physique, but I just determined I wasn't big enough to do classic physique. And these guys are even way bigger than they used to be. And that's what I competed in, was men's physique versus the classic, just because of size. These guys are so much bigger now. Where, when I first was getting into it, it wasn't the case. Yeah, classic. I think classic is what I like the best for men. Because, again, that's Chris Bumstead then, too. And I think he was phenomenal.
I mean, his influence on the bodybuilding community was crazy.
But now he's done.
So now everyone's kind of dispersed.
He did compete in the one open after the Olympia last time. And I think he took second. But just because he didn't have the extra mass.
Is that all it was?
All it was, dude.
Was just
yes. If you would really judge it on the physique itself and symmetry and everything, because look, he's the closest thing, I believe, and people have compared him to Arnold. He was the closest compared to Arnold. And honestly, if you put their physique side by side, similar, but Bumstead over Arnold.
Really?
Yeah, but they didn't get that crazy cut.
Oh, back in the day, it wasn't. Because
the body fat wasn't 4 or 5%.
You're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. Because
it was still looked good,
but supplements as well and everything like that.
Yeah,
diet, everything's been more studied.
Well, not just more studied, like the whole level of the game has been raised. But yeah, that's definitely part of it. You hit the nail on the head with that, definitely. And there are comparisons. I'm sure you could find one. I mean, just look at that. Look at how similar they are. It's just pictures. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But still.
But look at the striations that you see in one versus the other. And look at the more detail in the legs and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But overall the size is similar. Yeah. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
it's not just, and then I can kind of see the Derek Lunsford in the background to the right there. I mean, dude, Look at that. Look at those lats. They look like big giant balloons under
That
there.
ass do.
That is insane. And then, yeah, you get back over to the classic. Like that's decent size. You know what I mean? But that's something that people can look at, and being a mass monster is the genetics and what you have to do that, and the eating you have to do is just crazy insane. So they got to figure out a way that they can attract more people to the sport, and maybe they have to change the way they do judging. Maybe they have to change the classes. I don't have all the answers for that. But they have to start answering that. And there's enough great bodybuilders still alive and around, that have been champions over the last 20 years that still care about the sport, that I think would want to maybe have some input in that. But again, you have to make, for the women to get more money, the men are going to have to get more money. For either sex to get more money, you got to attract. My whole point, and I took so long to get here, was you have to bring more people interested in the sport. You either have to get more pay-per-views, and I don't think that's the way to go. You have to do a deal. They need somebody like Dana White to come along to grab this bull by the horns and promote it and take over. Because when I was growing up, I don't know, you probably heard a little bit of it, but it used to be Weider. Yeah, Weider, that they had the magazines, they had the Olympia, they had the supplements, okay? They're the ones that promoted bodybuilding forever and ever.
I think I do remember seeing like the magazines in Walmart and stuff like that.
I mean, Joe Weider's a legend. I mean, just legend. But they need a modern day Joe Weider to take over and push it. They need somebody to do a Dana White to the thing, to make it grow. And then you have to, not only that, you have to make it attractive to promote. Like, why don't we see the Pittsburgh Pro? Why don't we see the Tampa Pro? Why don't we see the New York Pro? Like, if you want to make the Olympia better, you need to have at least, say, 6 other shows that are big, that are also promoted, that's getting some TV time on Fox Sports or ESPN or something, and get that money, because that's where the money's going to come from. It's got to come from media, and maybe you create your own channel. Maybe things are changing, but something has to happen alongside of that.
Yeah.
That's where the money is. And they don't have that money. They don't have that money. And without it, the men aren't going to get much more, and the women aren't going to get hardly anything. So if you want to make more money, y'all need to focus on the right thing. And everybody needs to focus on building or making changes to bodybuilding as far as how it's presented to the public, and get more people interested. That's all. That's what I'm saying. That's how America works. That's how America works. Oh, man, I did a lot of sports, didn't I? I think I did all sports. I didn't mean to do that.
I was curious because you know what power slap is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was actually really curious because when you did say that about like Dana White stepping in, I'm curious the comparison between power slap, because that started like maybe 2-3 years ago.
Yeah, it's not been long.
Bodybuilding.
Power slap, YouTube. But like, how much are people paid for those competitions? How much, do people who participate in body competitors make? That's what I would put there. You got to get something for getting this shit knocked out of them, right?
between 2 to 4 just for showing up to the event. Win bonus anywhere from 2 to 6K. And then performance of the night anywhere from 5 to 10K.
Almost like MMA started in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's not very much.
But I mean, still for just showing up and slapping some people around and getting slapped, that's not. You can make approximately anywhere from 40 to 100,000 annually, depending on performance and bonus.
I wonder, how do you train for that? Wouldn't that suck, training for that, man? I mean, how many times do you have to get slapped at the gym or wherever you're doing this a day to practice for it?
That is actually, because like even like in boxing and UFC, like even when you spar and stuff like that, most of the time you don't want to be getting hit at 100%, right? But this sport, that's all you do. So
you
like,
have to.
do you have to? Like, wouldn't that weaken your? Like, do you build better tolerance, or does it just get worse the more you get hit?
I have no clue.
That's interesting, actually.
I am totally lost.
It might be better to not train to get hit than actually getting hit constantly like that because of brain damage. You might be able to get shut down a lot easier.
Well, and it's comparing, the fighters and how much they get paid versus the power slap guys. Well, this is new too.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, you get more views. The more views you get, the more eyeballs you get, the more interest you get, the more money everybody's going to make. Right? I don't know. That's just crazy shit, man.
Yes, it is.
But again, that's America, man. It's America. That's how you're gonna get the money, man. You got to bring more people, more eyeballs to it. If you don't bring more eyeballs to it, you're not gonna get the money. Nobody cares how hard you work. Nobody cares.
Power Slap, sorry, I don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead.
Power Slap currently has a broader and more rapidly expanding online viewership compared to bodybuilding. Which is like, I mean, obviously, like bodybuilding still has the more of the audience and stuff like that, but Power Slap, like, because you were like talking about Dana White just coming in and just starting to promote everything. Power Slap gets more viewership compared to bodybuilding just because of the way he advertises it. I thought that's pretty interesting.
Dude, well, look at what he's done. Now with the latest deal, and they're moving away from
and Dana White might be like controlling a good amount of these sports.
Yeah. He's worth every penny.
I agree.
That he makes. He's delivering the content. And people are getting paid. It took a while. But you have to start somewhere. They gotta start. You're just not gonna get the money. I don't know. It's just silly when people think that men and women should just make the most. The only time I ever thought, especially in women's sports, that women should get more than the men was just and it was actually for the Olympics or for our national teams. And I don't know if that's still true, but for a while, the women's soccer was, to me, we knew who the women's soccer players were. Back in Mia Hamm's days, specifically, in the 2000s, 2005, 2010, during that period, you didn't know who a single man was on the men's team, or very rarely.
There wasn't that at that.
Yeah, at that point, the women should have got as much as the men because they got the eyeballs. We cared about I did, at least back then. I cared about watching the women play China or, a team like that. That was big stuff back then. More so than the men. In this country, I'll say that, soccer worldwide, that's a different thing. But that's, again, you want to make money in soccer, you're first. And if you're good enough, playing in the MLS now is better than it was 15 years ago.
That's for sure.
And the pay is better.
That's for sure.
But still, it's still not the equivalent of Europe.
Nowhere near, unfortunately.
No.
It's completely.
And I love how they do that over there with the leagues. Like, if you don't do well, you fall out of the top league, or you could be in the basically
The
almost like a
divisions.
AAA club in baseball and move up to the majors.
Yep.
That makes shit competitive, man.
Exactly. I think that's what a lot of American sports are missing is the downside of doing bad in the sport, because a lot of teams have just coasted
really?
with just being shit.
Consequences, dude. We became the participation ward country.
Yeah.
Everybody wins.
Yep. Yep. No, but I've had a lot of close conversations with a lot of my friends, and in my opinion, I think if in all American sports, whether that be football, baseball, whatever, if they were to implement something like that to where there's a downside to doing shit,
Yeah.
then
And you mean not getting paid? The rest of your
millions and-
contract,
yeah, like,
$50 million,
that's what I'm
and
saying,
you get to go sit home and just.
maybe they'll actually start caring a little bit more about their
I mean,
roles and their.
As much as I'm active, as much as I've said I will always be working and if I was in that position and I got fired $50 million plus all what I already
Taking a
made,
vacation.
at that age I'd be like, fuck college football. What should I really go somewhere else? I'd probably just become a
Like some high school
commentator.
coach. Oh,
No,
okay, or
I'd be
commentator. Okay,
man.
okay.
You can make $3-5 million a year. You're good. I don't know.
No,
But do I really want to, as a sports fan, do I really want to hear on Saturday morning on,
the head coach is gonna get paid
do
an
I
extra
want to hear
50 mil
James
for not doing
Franklin?
nothing?
No, I don't want to hear him. Nick Saban's funny. I love Nick Saban.
You know who
on
I've
Saturday
actually
morning.
enjoyed listening to talk as a commentator? Who was it, Brady?
Yeah, Tom Brady. You like that?
Weirdly enough, I actually kind of enjoy
This is his
listening.
second year.
I'm enjoying him, because you can obviously tell that he is a football player. You can obviously tell the way he's describing things and breaking things down, or predicting whatever it be. Like, you can tell that he was a football player, and I actually really like that perspective.
You know how I know that you're not really good? If I'm saying what you say before you say it.
Exactly.
So, we were having a good time laughing about this, watching football, listening to football. Even if we're going to dinner, we're always checking on games, Dawn and I. Or we're watching a game together, and I'll say something, and literally inside of 15, 20 seconds,
the commentator
says the exact same thing I just said. And I used to be pretty annoying with people, if you sat around me, with being able to do that. Like, really, Troy? Really? So if that's me, then you're probably not that great.
That good. Yeah. No, I feel the same way. I feel the exact same way when it comes to boxing or UFC. Sometimes I'll say something like, "Oh man, he needs to start throwing more jabs or more kicks or go to the left or whatever." And then the commentator says, "I'm just like, that's exactly what I said."
Yeah, before they said it. Yeah,
I love it.
That's so good. I didn't even get to politics. Everybody else is covering it. I think it's great. I'll just say here at the end that the hostages have been released, and Trump is over there right now, has been over there, gave a speech. I love what's going on. I think it's really shitty that that there's still people with this great thing happening that people just can't give credit where credit's due. And that's okay. The American people see it. That's the most important thing. We don't need the approval of fucking Democrats and liberals. Don't care. And Trump doesn't need anybody's approval. He just literally does not give a shit, which is why he's been able to get all these things done that other people were never able to get done. So it's a great day today for the world. Maybe that now I think that'll also put more pressure on Russia and Ukraine, because the focus has kind of been split on those two wars, right? Well, now it's going to be about rebuilding in Gaza. Now the focus is going to be ending the devastation in Ukraine and all the deaths there and get that stopped. And that's where most of the focus will go, and be interesting to see who Trump sends over there, since he sent over his son-in-law and Witkoff over to Israel to do these deals. It'll be interesting to see who heads to Ukraine now. But super exciting, really. I really truly mean that. I think it's a great thing for everyone. I also think it's good to be pro-Palestinian people, pro-Israeli people. It's not okay to be pro-Hamas. It's not. These people, the Hamas used these people, and now maybe they have a chance again to elect a new government that is not a terrorist organization. That can't happen. And I think as long as that doesn't happen, that things will work out well. Maybe I'm not expecting a perfect or easy road to get there, but these are big steps, big steps. In the past, we've had some ceasefires that fell apart pretty quickly, and this is not doing that. People are pushing to finish it off and get it done. And I think that's a great thing. But I also think it's going to be a good thing for the Ukraine-Russia war that the focus is going to be on that to get that ended. And then let's figure out how to live together. Just live together, man. And we have to do that here. Like, why are those people wearing fucking masks? The fuck is that? Outside. That's like a recent picture. Yeah, October 13th.
Yeah.
Who the fuck are the people in the masks?
Is it dusty where they're at?
That's ridiculous, man.
Or is it one of those things where, if they're not U.S., is it one of those things where they have to hide their identity?
I don't think so.
Like military reasons.
No,
whatever?
I don't know. I think that's dumb as fuck. There's a county in California that is requiring masking now.
Really?
And they're going to require masking every year.
For what?
From like now until some date in March.
Because of like pollution or something?
No.
Because of COVID?
Because of flu.
Oh, just a random flu?
No, COVID. The COVID
strain
or whatever.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Just Sonoma County. Just dumbass shit. It's a wealthy county.
And it's a healthy one?
Wealthy.
Or wealthy?
You'd figure wealthy would mean a little bit healthy, but yeah. Yeah, mask order. There you go. See, 7 days ago. It's just stupid, dude. Like, who really lets... So if you want to go to a doctor around there, I'm done with that shit. I'd be telling people to fuck off, man. I remember the end of COVID, I was like that. Man, I'm not sitting here wearing your stupid fucking mask in the waiting room. It's just bullshit, dude. Just done seeing it. The few people that remain doing it, you just want to bitch slap the fuck out of them. Since it's the end of the show, we can say that, right? YouTube isn't going to... Calling for violence against maskers. YouTuber is banned.
Oh.
So stupid. All right. Guess that's our show today. Not too bad. Well, hey, just do what you need to do. Message me. Other media, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, X. A lot of good clips have been going up, been getting clips. Check those out. Little politics, little health, little testosterone. I got some other videos I'm going to be making at home and posting too. Some things to talk about, especially related to men's health. So that's obviously my biggest focus business-wise. So check that out. We appreciate you. This is the Outlaw Apostle Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Neff. I'm the fucking guy.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believe me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with you like I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era about to snap back. You ain't fitted.
By being naked.